Welcome to Shortstop Jackson on Real Estate and Money here on YouTube. We're here for another episode, and this one is gonna rock you. This one is how to get rich as a landlord. I have a 10-year strategy on how to get rich as a landlord. And this is my strategy on how I've done it and how I know you could do it as well. You have to remember, it's 10 years, not 10 minutes. So 10 years, if you can commit, you do most of the things I'm going to tell you here, I promise you, you're going to be much wealthier than you are today. Okay, here we go. We're going to get started now. So in a 10-year period as a landlord, a lot of things happen. Time really is on your side here. I'll tell you why time's on your side. First of all, who's paying for your property? Not you. Your tenant is paying for your property. Your tenant is making the mortgage payment every month. 10 years from when we started, 10 years of mortgage payments, we're talking close to half of the purchase price of the mortgage is close to paid. I know you're going to say to me, it's a 30-year mortgage. 10 years, that's 30 years. That's a third, not a half. And it depends how you work it, but if you find ways to make additional principal payments along the way, you can easily pay your 30-year mortgage off in 10 years, in 12 years, in 15 years. You don't have to take 30 years to do it. So, but the point is, you're not making the mortgage payment, the tenant's making the mortgage payment. So that's one huge bonus that happens in this 10 years, is that the renter is paying for your property. Secondly, inflation is happening and property values generally go up. 10 years, you could check your market in different areas. I'm going to say in 10 years, the value of your property could be double, could be twice what you paid for it. Most likely, it's going to be higher. It may not be twice as much, but it's most likely going to be higher. And it could be more than twice as much. So just know that your property went up in value. Your tenant paid for it up until then. And one of the most important things that's happened in this 10-year period is that you as a landlord went from a scared, unsophisticated, inexperienced landlord to a strong and courageous and smart landlord. You've found lots of ways to hopefully reduce costs, to deal with maintenance things, to deal with management things. You have your own philosophies. You're ready to start a YouTube channel yourself already. And you are now comfortable being a landlord. So this is the biggest win here. When I started out, I was a little bit intimidated by being a landlord, and I said, wow, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I'm afraid. I want to be able to go to sleep at night and not worry about a tenant and a broken this and a broken that. So I made a deal with myself. I said, 10 years, you commit for 10 years. At the end of 10 years, we'll sell the property, we'll hire a property manager, we'll do something. You don't have to do this after 10 years. So I said, okay, 10 years sounds better than life. Okay, if you had 10 years in prison, it's better than life in prison. So this is what I agreed to with myself. I made this deal. So what happens is I noticed after 5, 6, 7 years, guess what? I never started counting down. I didn't every January 1st say, I'm down to 8 years to go, 6 years to go, I'm almost there. I didn't do that. I basically got more and more comfortable as time went on, and I never really did the countdown. I'm still holding at 10 years. And I still tell myself, 10 more years, that's all you got to do this, 10 more years. That's kind of my mantra. And the good news is, like I said, is by the time you get 3, 4, 5, 6 years into it, you don't need the 10 years anymore. You're comfortable, you love this business, you love that while you sleep, someone else is buying your house. You're not afraid of a broken this or a broken that or a trash this or a tenant you have to evict. Whatever problem is going to come, you've already dealt with it, you've already handled it, and you're not intimidated by it. So this is the blessing that happens 4, 5, 6 years into being a landlord. Not to mention the cash flow. The rents have gone up also. 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, the rents may not have doubled, but the rents are higher. Your mortgage payment hasn't gone up. Maybe you've even refied and it's gone down. And you have a lot of equity and your cash flow is better and life is getting good. Hopefully by now you've bought more properties. You don't have one, you have 2, 3, 4, 6 properties, and you're doing this full time as a business, and you're really starting to feel the way to retire here. Because most of us, once you have enough cash flow, you have $5,000, $10,000 a month of cash flow, you can pretty much say, I don't need a real job. This is enough. And you can, see the way to grow it. Once you've bought a second property, a third property, you understand what it takes to get that next property. The first one is the hard one. The first one, making the commitment to be a landlord. This is the difficult thing. But once you've gotten comfortable with it and you've done it, it's so much easier to continue on with this process down the road. Another thing I really recommend is always try to buy properties that you love. Because it doesn't even matter if you're going to hold a property long term as a rental. It doesn't even matter if you paid top dollar when you bought it. I don't recommend that. It's always best if you can buy something a little less than you buy a deal and it's worth more than you paid for it. But 5, 10 years down the road, when it's worth another $50,000 or $200,000 more, it doesn't even really matter to you how much you paid. What matters is how much is your cash flow, how much equity, how much is it worth today. It doesn't really matter how much it matters to your accountant when he's going to do your capital gains tax when you sell it, how much you paid. The rest of that doesn't matter what you paid. So pick out properties that you love, pick out properties that you're really comfortable with, and buy top locations. Location. Buy the best location you can afford to buy, and buy properties you love. I hope this is helpful. I hope it inspires you. It inspires me every time I think about the fact that my tenants are buying me properties. It inspires me to no end. And I hope someday that you'll have the opportunity to feel the same way, have many properties, be able to retire on the cash flow that you have. If you like this video, push the like button, subscribe. I plan to be doing these videos every week for a long time, and you can continue to learn how to be a great landlord.